This is Golf with Jay Delsing. A two-time college All-American at UCLA. A participant in nearly 700 PGA Tour events. 7 professional wins to his credit. Over 30 years of professional golf experience. A member of the St. Louis Sports Hall of Fame. This is Golf with Jay Delsing.
Good morning. This is Golf with Jay Delsing. I'm your host, Jay. I'm with Pearlie this morning. Pearlie, what's happening?
Nothing much, Jay. Just ready for a great show today. There's so much to talk about. What a wild time for golf right now with all the big tournaments and the big money.
Yeah, and the Tour Championship ended. Anyway, we formatted the show like Around the Golf. This first segment is called the On the Range segment. It's brought to you by the Gateway section of the PGA. Love having them as a sponsor. We're also giving away a dozen TP5 golf balls. Send me an email, jay@jdelsinggolf.com. Enter the word balls somewhere in the subject, into the message somewhere, and we will put you in the drawing for those balls. We just sent out another 4 dozen for the month of August, and now we start on September, and new dozen headed your way, hopefully. I want to thank Bob and Kathy Donahue at Donahue Painting and Refinishing, 314-805-2132. They will beautify the inside of your house, the outside, whatever you need, they can do it. And they're great human beings. All right, John, fun show today. I got to sit down with a fella named Jim Fickert. Jim is an account exec for Craftsman Industries. They make the tour trucks. The tour trucks that have all that equipment in there, all the shafts, all the grips, all of the heads. They're like mobile hotels almost, John, with so much room. And so that's really a fun angle. On the show, Pearl, we're always looking to try to find ways and subjects that are just a little bit out of the box and are kind of interesting.
This certainly is. I love the interview. I can remember being in the old trucks, if you will, but they weren't that fancy. They weren't that big. And by the way, at the time, I thought they were the coolest things going. Walk in there, these guys are building the clubs for you guys and all that kind of stuff on the spot. And the new ones, I have to say, I've seen from the outside at the tournaments, but I've never been in one of the new big fancy ones that you and Jim were talking about.
Oh, Pearl, some of them have lounges. So you're sitting there, you have a Coke or something waiting for them. It's super nice. Couches and the organizational level that those guys have. And I was trying to get, and we talk about this in the interview, where they are maximizing space in these things like crazy, because there need to be so many different components to put these golf clubs together for all of their players, because everybody's got different specs and needs.
Well, and as you guys discussed, it's quite an investment for these equipment companies. I mean, they're talking about, $1 million, $2 million for these darn things, which you guys talked about, which was awesome. So yeah, they better be effective and be able to get a whole lot of things done. But they are. It is absolutely the way that things are happening going forward.
Well, I wanted people to make sure, we kept talking about trucks. We kept and I didn't want them to think like this is some old broken down pickup truck or something. This is not a refabbed. This is state of the art. Everything you ever wanted if you're a golfer to go in there and you could tell them, I want a 10-degree stealth head with a graphite shaft with this sort of flex point, with this sort of grip on it, and they'll make it up for you in 12 minutes. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
Well, and as big as those things are, but then he's talking about the slides and how they go taller. So all of a sudden, this thing that's already big expands to itself again, or something in that ballpark. Yeah, it was a fun interview, and I think it's a perspective that an awful lot of your listeners probably don't quite have on this. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah, thanks. We also want to give another shout out to Birdies for Breathing, this golf event which benefits the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. This is an awful disease you and I know a little bit about. We lost our good buddy's wife, Fran Pruitt, from this awful disease. So Lauren and Matt Ziegler are hosting this event along with their daughter, Alex. It's Monday, September 19th. It's at St. Clair Country Club. You could jump on Facebook to find out more. A really cool event. Let's get everybody out there supporting it. You can call them at 314-607-7202 or go to birdiesforbreathing.com. All right, John, let's just jump right into the Tour Championship. If you're Scotty Scheffler, you go in, first of all, you've had an incredible year. By the way, you and I both, at our early season picks, picked Scotty Scheffler to not only get his first tour win, we talked about first majors and we talked about breakout seasons, and we were on the money on this. But damn, I got to tell you, Pearl, he led the stupid tournament for 70 holes and wound up finishing second.
Yeah, but you could just see it and feel it slipping. It was just so tough. You know who I thought about, because you've had him on the show a couple times, was Ted Scott. Ted's sitting there thinking, what can I do to get this guy into the barn? Because he's so close. You could tell he didn't have his stuff. He didn't have his stuff much of the week, I suppose is fair to say. Certainly not the second half. And you watch that and you think, look at the kind of the guts, the everything in his bag to get these things up and down, to make these putts, to hang in there in such difficult situation. The other thing that I really think I saw, and it might be a little hard for some to fathom because it's golf, I think he was just getting worn out. I mean, I think physically, I think he was throwing the kitchen sink at the dang thing.
But, bro, you know yourself as a player, when you have such little control over your game, it's exhausting to navigate yourself around and then throw that on a tour golf course with the kind of pressure. You had a 6-shot lead. So you're thinking, man, there's no way I can't get in this thing without screwing that up. But it's so hard.
No, there's no way he said that. And I know, at a golf course like that with the greatest players in the world and some of the greatest players of all time chasing you, no, he wasn't thinking that. He knew damn well he could screw that thing up, I think. And I think you just made a great, great point, though. It is so exhausting to have to get up and down and also to sleep at night when you know you don't have your game. I would say it costs you, 2 hours of sleep, just knowing that you don't quite have that game and that just getting it around probably isn't going to be good enough. It almost is interesting how it happened, because the same thing happened to Rory to a degree, meaning he just couldn't get it into the barn at the Open.
Yep.
And so here he is on the other side of this thing when he's watching this guy, and he's probably thinking to himself, I know what that feels like. He knows he can't get this thing to the barn. So if I could just hit a few more good shots, I'm going to win this dang tournament.
Bro, he couldn't make a putt. He couldn't do it. It was just like everything was just enough off that it was kind of like, oh, this thing's going to slip through my hands. And I'm sure he was hoping, like Ted was probably hoping, man, can we just run out of holes?
It was fun, something you and I have talked about relative to kind of Rory being able to be there. He was swinging that putter head. There was no hold on. There was not that hold on poppy finish stroke. There's a couple that he released it on. And I think, actually, a couple of them, it's easier to release that thing on a right-to-left putt. And there was a couple right-to-lefters that he had that were still kind of tough because they broke a little bit extra. But he really let that putter head swing. And I think that really, to me, it looked like it just clicked within him. Like he really started feeling that. And all of a sudden that hole opened up and he's like, man, I know I can make putts today.
Well, you sprinkle a little magic dust and confidence on top of it, and he's already a great player. I mean, and he is a machine with that driver. Holy smokes, that aggravates me. I feel like when I'm hitting my driver, I feel like half the time my legs are moving south, the other part of my body's moving north, and nothing is going in the right direction. And I look at him and I feel like he's like a robot. It's so perfect.
Well, it is perfect, but it's also like a dance step, if you will. It's not robotic at all. And what I really took away from that, as wonderful as he hits those tee shots, it's the ultimate of swinging and letting the ball get in the way. There is no hitting at the ball. I hit at the ball.
I hit at the ball.
Say my words before I say what I'm hitting at the ball, and it just ruins everything.
I know.
And so the way he just swings away and lets the ball get in the way, to me, is one of the reasons he's the best, one of the best drivers, if not the best driver of the golf ball in the world.
It's so impressive. I still go back to getting to walk around with him when I was with the Fox golf team at Oakmont and watching him hit these drives, and I'm like, I just walking around with my mouth open. I'm like, this is a pop-up, right? That goes 350 yards. I mean, it's so high, John. It's just ridiculous. I can't even express it. But, Pearl, that's going to wrap up the Unranged segment. Let's do the tip of the cap. The tip of the cap is brought to you by our friends at Dean Team Volkswagen of Kirkwood and my buddy Colin Burt, 314-966-0303. Send me an email if you want. I will personally introduce you to Colin. Pearlie's got a Colin vehicle. I got a Colin vehicle from Dean Team of Kirkwood. They sponsor the Tip of the Cap segment. I'm tipping my cap to the hospitality companies, the men and the women that build the infrastructure for all of our sporting events, our golf tournaments, our concerts. It is just remarkable, the hard work of these men and women, the long hours that they put in. I've been watching them do this for the last 2 weeks at Norwood, and now we are I mean, tomorrow we're qualifying at Norwood. And so it's so cool to watch him build this stuff. And it's such a pleasure. And I'm so grateful to be able to play in front of that. And, John, how cool was it? How cool was the 17th green last year in Norwood with that little natural amphitheater with all the skyboxes around? I mean, it felt like it could have been at a major championship.
Oh, absolutely. It had a great tournament feel to it across the board. I thought there were several holes they did a great job. But the whole complex felt wonderful as far as I'm concerned, and not overly stuffy. It was friendly, it was inviting, and it was professional. It was a great combo as far as I was concerned. I think that's the feel they were going for, and I think they nailed it.
And the ACC, it's here. We got the qualifier tomorrow. We hope you're ready. We're going to be ready. Anyway, we want to thank the Dean Team Volkswagen of Kirkwood, 314-966-0303. Colin, thanks for supporting the show. That's going to wrap up the On the Range segment. Don't go anywhere. John and I will be back for the front nine. Golf with Jay Delsing. I want to officially welcome Daugherty Business Solutions as the new title sponsor of this show. So who are they? Well, first of all, they've been headquartered in St. Louis for the last 37 years. They're the #1 largest IT consulting firm per the St. Louis Business Journal. They're also the #1 largest software development company per the St. Louis Business Journal. They were voted #1 top workplace in St. Louis for large companies. There's over 2,500 teammates in 30 states and in 3 countries. There are 11 Daugherty regional development hubs in and around the world. If you live and or work in the St. Louis area, chances are that through their business or their extensive community work, Daugherty Business Solutions has done something positive near you. Check us out at Daugherty.com. That's DAUGHERTY.com. Hey, this is Jay Delsing for SSM Health Physical Therapy. Our golf program has the same screening techniques and technology as the pros on the PGA Tour use. SSM Health Physical Therapy has the Titleist Performance Institute trained physical therapists that can perform the TPI screening on you, as well as use the K-Vest 3D motion capture system. Proper posture, alignment, etc. can help you keep your game right down the middle. We have 80 locations in the St. Louis area. Call 800-518-1626 or visit them on the web at ssmphysicaltherapy.com. Your therapy, our passion.
The Ascension Charity Classic returns September 6th through the 11th. Once again, St. Louis will host golf's greatest champions. But no matter who wins, the real winners will be local area charities and communities. Tickets available now at ascensioncharityclassic.com.
Good morning. This is Golf with Jay Delsing. I'm your host, Jay. I'm with Matt Swanson this morning. Matt, thanks for joining me on the Gateway Spotlight.
Thanks, Jay. Appreciate you having me on.
Hey, and another congratulations is in order. You successfully defended the Assistants Championship event again this year.
Yeah, got lucky to kind of go back to back, which is really nice.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about that, because the event was held this year at Forest Hills. It's kind of your home course right now.
Yep, they held it at Forest Hills, and Scott, our superintendent here, he's done a great job getting the course prepared for us, and had a couple course projects here the last few weeks, and they moved a little bit fast on those to make sure it's all in order for when we played, which was nice.
Tell us what you shot, and tell us a little bit about, you have rich golf lineage in your family. You got to tell us a little bit about that. I think the viewers would love to hear.
I went 64 under the first round, 68, and then 69 the second. Played pretty solid both rounds. Started the second round off really good. Birdied the first 5 holes.
Whoa,
and then,
Matt, that's something that I've only done a few times in my career, and it's almost hard to go. You almost feel like as soon as you make a par, you almost feel a little let down. It's just a weird feeling, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit uncomfortable. I don't think I've ever done that either. And then I just strung that up with a few bogeys. Didn't have many pars the whole day. Pretty colorful scorecard, but it was good. Both my mom and dad, my mom's still in the business. My dad was in the business for 25 years, and my mom and I actually been doing some ladies clinics together, so it's nice teaching with her and her not teaching me. But she was down last week, and we had her check out my swing a little bit, make sure everything was squared away, and felt good going in, that's for sure.
So how many did you win by? It's got to be kind of interesting having your mom or even a parent as your coach.
Yeah, I think I ended up winning by 7. I think Shane shot even, so me and him get to go represent the Gateway section down in Florida, which is nice. Yeah, it's definitely interesting. The amount of FaceTime calls I make to her, just late hours, just in my apartment thinking about something, it's a lot. But she's always there for me, which is great.
Now, when is the National Assistance Championship?
Mid-November, I believe it's the 20th through the 22nd. I could be wrong on that.
No, we'll follow you.
Sure of the dates.
Yeah, we'll follow up. Do you know where you're playing?
Port St. Lucie again, the Wanamaker course. They'll host it there.
Well, Matt, congratulations. Tell us a little bit about what's going on at Forest Hills, because I know the club is rocking.
Club is rocking. It's very busy. A lot of members playing, which is great. A lot of course projects here getting done. We've regrading our putting green, get a little more use out of that. So that's wrapping up here. And then we also are building a little 3 green, 4 bunker short game area to the right of our first tee. So that'll be really good going into the next year for sure. A lot of opportunities there, clinics, practice, especially with our huge junior program here.
No, I know you guys do a great job at Forest Hills. Well, this is Matt Swanson. He is the 2-time defending champion of the Assistance Championship here in the Gateway section. Matt, thanks for joining us. Congratulations again, and keep doing what you're doing over at Forest Hills.
Thank you, Jay. I appreciate the kind words. Thanks for having me.
I am proud to welcome the Gateway section of the PGA back to my show. Whether you're pulling into your favorite driving range, public golf course, or country club, there is an excellent chance that the staff there is part of the over 300 men and women PGA professionals at over 100 facilities that make up our Gateway section. I grew up watching so many of these fine men and women getting to the golf course at dawn, leaving at dusk, spending their entire day running events, giving lessons, and growing this great game. PGA Reach, Drive, Chip, and Putt, PGA Hope, and the fantastic PGA Junior League are a few of the examples of the programs run by these same PGA professionals. Go to gatewaypga.org to learn more, or to find your next PGA professional for your next lesson, go to pga.com. The Gateway PGA, growing the game we love.
Hi, this is Peter Jacobson, and you're listening to Golf with Jay Delsing.
How would you like access to 90 holes of golf? Well, that's what happens when you join at Whitmore Country Club. You get access to the Missouri Bluffs, the Links of Dardenne, and the Golf Club of Wentzville. And guess what? No cart fees included in that deal. There's no food and beverage minimums. There's no assessments. They have a 24-hour fitness center, 2 large pool complexes, 3 tennis courts. Year-round social calendar includes holiday parties, picnics, date nights, live music. They even have a kids club for your children and much, much more. There's junior golf, junior tennis, and swim teams available. This is a family-friendly atmosphere, and they have a wonderful staff. If you get out there, you got to poke your head in the golf shop and say hello to my friend Bummer. He is a terrific guy, and he will help you with your game and show you around. And don't forget, there are golf leagues, skins games, members tournaments, and couples events available all year round. Visit whitmoregolf.com. That's whitmoregolf.com.
You're listening to Golf with Jay Delsing. For golf tips, news on the latest equipment, and everything golf, log on to golfwithjaydelsing.com. The front 9 is coming up.
Folks, are you in the market for some additional protection for your ride? You need to call my friends at Vehicle Assurance. Their number is 866-341-9255. Sherry Fain is the owner and president, and she and her team are committed to helping you with your unexpected auto repair bills. They are committed to finding the right protection for you, your budget, and your family. They only work with the top vehicle service providers in the country. Get the protection and the peace of mind you deserve. That's Vehicle Assurance, 866-341-9255 for a free quote. 866-341-9255.
We're creating a better future one swing at a time. The Ascension Charity Classic returns September 6th through the 11th and provides critical dollars for area charities. Once again, St. Louis will host golf's greatest champions. Tickets at ascensioncharityclassic.com.
Folks, do you need a new car, truck, or SUV? Then the Dean team of Kirkwood is the place for you to go. 314 314-966-0303 and go see Colin Byrne. He just got me into a new SUV and I love it. Boy, did they make the experience painless and super, super easy. Most dealers don't have any cars in their lots, but at Dean Team of Kirkwood, Colin has an entire parking lot full of new and used cars. You don't want a VW? That's no problem. They have Audis, BMWs, Mercedes, anything you want. Colin and the Dean Team of Kirkwood will go get it if they don't have it. Call them at 314-966-0303 or go to DeanTeamVWKirkwood.com. The Dean Team, for all your car buying needs.
This is Golf with Jay Delsing. The Front Nine is presented by the Ascension Charity Classic, September 5th through the 11th at Norwood Hills Country Club. For tickets, ascensioncharityclassic.com.
Hey, welcome back. This is Golf with Jay Delsing. I'm your host, Jay. Pearlie's with me, and we're going to the Front Nine, brought to you by the Ascension Charity Classic. Hey, man, it is here. Can't wait. Guys, we are going right now to my interview with Jim Fickert, who is with Craftsman Industries and the builder of the specialized PGA Tour trucks. Jim is the experiential account executive for Craftsman right here in St. Louis. Hey, Jim, good morning, and thanks for joining me.
Good morning, Jay. How you doing today?
I'm doing fine, thanks, buddy. Hey, gosh, I'm so excited to do this interview with you because you guys make some of the coolest toys for golfers that have been around. You guys actually make all the equipment trailers, or most of the equipment trailers for on the PGA Tour.
Absolutely, yeah. We've been very blessed to get these guys as clients, and we build them from, we built Callaway, TaylorMade, Mizuno, Srixon, Bridgestone. We pretty much built most of everybody's tour trailers.
Jim, take us back to the time frame about when you guys in Craftsman started getting involved in golf and what you guys do.
It was probably about 13 years ago that I went to one of the golfing tournaments. Actually, it was in Whistling Straits. I think it was one of the major tournaments they had there. And I knew they had trailers to build clubs out of. So these are clubs that the pros get, and they show up at the tournaments from Monday through Wednesday. So they're allowed, every player is allowed to change their club from Monday through Wednesday. So what they do inside the trailers, whether it's a wedge, a driver, a set of irons, or whatever it is, and they build those clubs. So when I first met the guys, most of the trailers were smaller trailers. They're what they call gooseneck trailers. They were 30 foot long, but just smaller, maybe one slide out. The stuff we're building now are semi-trailers. They're 42 foot long because that's as long as the PGA will allow them to have, because once again, they're putting these trailers on a golf course. So they're typically right around the driving ranges where they're parked at. Well, probably 3 years ago, we built the first trailer that goes up. So the TaylorMade guys came to us and said, hey, we went to the PGA Tour, and they said, we can't build any longer. So TaylorMade came back to them and said, well, what about if we go up? And PGA was like, well, yeah, I guess we can allow that. So anyway, they came to us, and we built this trailer that the top goes up and the sides come out. And they use their upstairs area for podcasts, just viewing meetings. So it's basically a headquarters on wheels. So they have everything in there. They can have meetings in there, and then obviously they build their clubs for all their tour players. And at the time when we did the TaylorMade trailer, they put a decal up on the roof, the best view in golf. So it's kind of cool because it's a 2-story trailer, which is all glass on the top. So basically, when you're out at a driving range, you're 2 stories in the air that you can see what's going on. So that's kind of where it all started. And then we built the first trailer for Mizuno, and since then we've built, I guess, probably 10 trailers for all the different companies. And like I said, they've grown from a gooseneck to a trailer that, is a semi-trailer that goes up and down. It's pretty crazy.
It's funny and not a surprise to me that TaylorMade was kind of on the creative edge with your trucks as well, where they're kind of pushing the boundaries, because in terms of innovation, TaylorMade leads the way on the tour.
Yeah, I would say that they were really cutting edge. Those guys always wanted something different, and they were definitely cutting edge of where it was at. So when they did that one, it was unheard of. Nobody had a trailer like that. Now, since then, Callaway's built one, and Callaway did add some neat features in it. They put a putting green in it, which we kind of at first thought, what's every golf course have? Every golf course has a putting green. So I was surprised that they wanted to put that inside the trailer. But since they've done that, and what they do is they have their monitor that tests, when they're putting what everything's going on, the different stuff, when they're, how their stroke is, how hard they're hitting the ball. But since then, they get more people inside that trailer, meaning of the tour players, because everybody wants to know what the count is. So, how many putts in a row did you make? And the first tournament I was at the Masters with them, and it started off, they would come in, and one of the golfers would come in, and he made 15 in a row. So that was the number. That was the buzz around the golf course. Well, the such and such made 15 putts. Next thing you know, it was 25 putts. So now I don't even know what they're up to. I think the last I heard was like 45 in a row, and I think John Rahm's caddy made it. So it's been kind of a cool thing that it really generated a lot more people to come through their trailer. With that putting green on the inside.
Now, Jim, we got to make sure we clarify this. So, folks, when you're thinking of a trailer, this isn't like a trailer that you see in the back of a hitch somewhere. This thing is state of the art with multi high tech features to it. Jim, give us an idea, without getting too much into the weeds, what these things cost these manufacturers.
Right. So this is what we call a semi-trailer. It's got an air ride system on it. The goosenecks are more of a smaller trailer that can be pulled by a pickup truck. These are pulled by semi-trucks. And the only reason why they're 42 foot long is, like I said, that's what the PGA said, the maximum length they can be. But yes, to your point, these things, they have a self-contained generator on them, air conditioning, heat, everything inside this trailer to build a club, but also to have drinks, food, to have meetings at. And the one we just built for Callaway was just a little bit over 1.5 million. So that tells you a little bit about what's all in them. It's a lot. There's a lot of stuff that goes in them. It's almost a 5-month build for us here at Craftsman to build them, something like that. The other ones we can turn about 4.5 months. But yeah, a big one like that's a good 5.5 month build time.
You come in and I play X shaft, you play Y shaft. This is what I have in my driver. I have a different shaft in my 3-wood, a different shaft in my 5-wood, and a different shaft in my putter. These folks are loaded with a variety of different shafts. How about grips? There's 15 different grips that all the players like. There's so much storage space, and there's so much time that you guys, and I know you have over 170 craftsmen and women that are designing these things, but there are so many little compartments and cool storage areas, and that space is maxed out, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. And for the avid golfer, when you walk into this trailer, it's like a kid in a candy store. There is, just like you said, Jay, there's every different shaft, every different iron head, different grips, all kinds of different stuff. And the Craftsman team, when we do a project, we assemble a project manager, we assign an engineer, and we assign a graphic designer for them. So it was a labor of love. It was a great project. They all have been, but the two big trailers for TaylorMade and Callaway have really been some really cool ones. So, what happens here is a client comes in and they have a vision. We make sure we put renderings together and then turn them into actual drawings and build a project. So yeah, like I said, it's a 5.5 month build. So it's definitely a labor of love, and it's exciting. The team gets excited when they see the trailer on TV. It's a lot of fun.
I use a TaylorMade driver, and I also use a Titleist Vokey SM9 spin milled wedge. So when I need to go get some driver work done, I walk over to the TaylorMade trailer. When I need to get something else done, I'll go to the Mizuno or the PXG or the Srixon trailer. And every one of these things that you built is not cookie cut, but it's very similar with maximum space efficiency and all of these different products available for the tour players. It's ridiculous.
And to that point, Jay, everybody has something different. So TaylorMade has what they call a curing cell. So whenever they put the epoxy on a driver, they put it in this heated curing cell, and within like 2 minutes, you can take it out and hit the driving range. Most everybody, you've got to wait half an hour. But Callaway's got a special bender that they use. So every company has little pieces of equipment that are just for what they do. Srixon's got an old weight balancing system that they use. And I think that's from back when Cleveland Golf was around, when Roger Cleveland owned Cleveland Golf. So to your point, nothing we do is cookie cutter. Everything is different. All the golf trailers are different. Each one of the manufacturers have something, that sets them apart from the next guy. So it's definitely highly engineered and highly custom.
Jim, what comes to mind is the difference back in the 80s and the early 90s when these things weren't around. We had nowhere to go. We'd have to find a local shop or maybe go see Lou or somebody like that to get this stuff fixed. This is a big deal.
Absolutely. So, and Dustin Johnson, it was probably, I guess it was late last year, on the driving range, broke his driver. And any other time, I don't know what you would have done if they wouldn't have had a trailer. And it seems like the biggest thing that they're always tweaking are the wedges. The guys are in there. I remember it was a year or two ago. I was in the Callaway trailer, and everybody was up at the nose end of the trailer, and I didn't know what was going on. Well, Phil's up there grinding on his, and he was literally grinding on him. I mean, he had the wedge out, was hitting it on the grinding wheel. So a lot of the golfers are tinkers. Jay, I don't know how you was when you played, if that's where you were, but they like to come in themselves and tinker on the clubs and do different stuff. Yeah, for an average golfer like me, I hit what we have. But those guys, they take their game real serious, and there's a lot of stuff that they change on the clubs.
Hey, I hope you enjoyed the first half of that interview. Don't go anywhere. Jim and the second half of that interview will be right back on the Back Nine. This is Golf with Jay Delsing. Boy, is this housing market tight right now. Are you tired of having the second best bid on your dream home? Call my friend Joe Sheezer at 314-628-2015. Joe's been helping my family and I for over 30 years. He closes millions of dollars of business every year, and he will help you understand the importance of a pre-approval letter, inspections, and pricing your home or your offer just right. If you need to buy or sell your home, Joe is your guy. 314-628-2015. That's 314-628-2015. After my knee replacement, I was able to swing the golf club again without any pain. SSM Health Physical Therapy guided me through the rehab process, and when I was ready, one of their specially trained KVS certified physical therapists put me on the 3D motion capture system. It was awesome. They evaluated my posture, alignment, and the efficiencies of my swing. They gave me golf-specific exercises to help make my swing more efficient and repeatable. Call 800-518-1626. Tell them Jay sent you for special pricing. Your therapy, our passion.
The Ascension Charity Classic returns September 6th through the 11th. Once again, St. Louis will host golf's greatest champions. Players like Bernard Langer, Ernie Els, Jim Furyk, John Daly, and returning champion David Toms. But no matter which legend wins this year, the real winners will be North County Charities, because all proceeds from the tournament stay right here in St. Louis to benefit our communities. Tickets available now at AscensionCharityClassic.com.
Hello, friends. This is Jim Nance, and you are listening to Golf with my friend Jay Delsing.
I want to tell you about a family-owned and operated golf business that's been right here in St. Louis for over 40 years. I'm talking about Pro-Am Golf Center. That's right, Pro-Am Golf Center. I know you know the name, but I'm not sure you know what they really have to offer. They have everything a seasoned golfer like myself could need, all the way down to what a beginner would want. Pro-Am Golf Center has the lowest price in the area for custom club fitting. I just went and visited CJ. He is terrific. If you call them now, mention my name, Jay Delsing, you will receive a discount on that already low club fitting price. Their number is 314-647-8054. Ask for CJ, or you can visit them at proamgolfusa.com. That's proamgolfusa.com.
This is Golf with Jay Delsing. To learn more about the game of golf, latest equipment, and golfing tips, log on to jdelsinggolf.com. The Back Nine is presented by Pro-Am Golf.
Hey, Jay here. Pearlie's with me. This is Golf with Jay Delsing. We are headed to the back nine, and it's brought to you by our friends at Pro-Am Golf. Guys, call CJ, 314-647-8054. Simple message. Pearl, people have been inundating CJ with getting fitted, and you are next. You're getting fitted, and we are going to get you some new clubs, and it's going to ruin all of your no more excuses.
Uh-oh, that's the only thing I'm holding on to these days.
I know. Anyway, guys, we're on the, this is the back nine, and we're going to the remainder of our interview with Jim Fickert. You know, Jim, for me, I knew myself all too well, and I did love to tinker, and there were certain things I do, and then there were certain things that I would not do because my skill level was extremely low on that wheel. If I got in there grinding my wedge, man, I'd be going to get a new wedge every 5 or 10 minutes because there's a real knack to getting that stuff done.
There is, and each one of the trailers has usually anywhere from 4 to 5 technicians on board. And it's from anything from the club to even golf balls, putters, changing the pitch of the putters. It's until you really get around these guys, you don't realize how much different things that they can do to the clubs to tweak everybody's game. It's very in depth for sure.
So Jim, this is an interesting story. I got a new set of clubs and I was having trouble with my 4-iron, and I was on the Mizuno staff at the time, and I said to Harry Taylor, Harry, there's something wrong with this 4-iron. He goes, what do you mean? I said, I don't know. There's something wrong with it. It feels off. Something's off on that 4-iron. And he said, why? And I said, because it just doesn't feel. The rest of the set is gorgeous, beautiful, everything. The 4-iron looks good. It's just not right. And he said, well, I don't know, our quality control. I said, look, I'm telling you something's wrong with it. So he went in and said, he came back with this look on his face. I said, what's wrong with that thing? There's something wrong with it. He goes, you can't be sure that there's something wrong with it. I said, I'm telling you, when I swing that thing, it doesn't feel right. He said the swing weight was off 2 points. And he said, how would you know that? I said, I didn't know what it was. I just knew something was different. But Jim, a swing weight, 1 point of the swing weight is the weight of 2 $1 bills. So what happens when, you get nutbags like us that play golf every single day, you really develop a feel and a sense for what you want your stuff to look and feel like. And when it gets off, man, if you don't have these trucks there, you can't go. I would have played around my 4-iron and not hit it.
And, to that point, Jay, and I'm sure you probably do this too, obviously they put tape down on the shafts before they put the grip on. And I was in one of the trailers one day, and they were showing different tapes, and he was taping, and he's like, oh, yeah, look at this sheet. He wants 3 rolls here and 1 roll there. And I'm like, what are you guys doing? He goes, oh, this guy likes 3 rolls of tape here, but only 2 rolls of tape here.
Right.
And I'm like, really? He goes, oh, absolutely. They're very finicky about them. And now the grips are changing a little bit, but still so when they tape that club before they put the grip on, that's scientific that they get to that little bit of changes. So it's crazy.
Well, Jim, one of the other things that happens is if you don't know how to put that tape on underneath the grip and it wrinkles, we can feel it, even though you put a grip on top of it. And some of the guys, back in the day, again, before Tiger came to the scene, this wasn't available. And so we were gripping our clubs and doing all that stuff ourselves. And, oh my gosh, I think about the trailers. Are there any companies, Jim, that actually have multiple trailers, like for different tours? And do you do stuff for the ladies tour and for the Champions Tour?
Yeah, so to your point of that, TaylorMade has their one trailer that goes up and down, and we're building them another one right now that's 42 foot in length also, semi with 2 slide outs, but it doesn't go up and down. And they're building that for the Corn Ferry Tour, some of the major senior events, and some of the major women's events. And I'm sure, as you all know now, the Live Tour is starting up. So, there's a possibility the guys are going to have to do that. So they do have pretty much the main manufacturers have at least 2 units. Some of them, Titleist has 3. That's just in the States. Then they obviously have some of them over in Europe. So as the golfing business is growing, and I think the same way with every sport, golfing is now starting to go down towards that younger level to try to get the next Tiger Woods. So they're even going to junior PGA events to see what the youth is. So the U.S. Amateur was just happened, I think it was a week or 2 ago. All the big boys were at that.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
and probably 10 years ago, none of them would be there. So it's, they're all looking for that next, star golfer, and they're looking past, below college. They're looking at high school, how good these kids are in high school.
Jim, when we had the PGA championship at Belle Reve in 2018, I had so many friends call me and say, gosh, the tournament was great, but the practice rounds were even better because we got to look at the trucks, and the trucks were over near the, I forget where the trucks were that week, if they were near the driving range or if they were on the parking lot, because Belle Reve is as big, as beautiful as Belle Reve is, it's very confined space-wise, especially around the driving range. The driving range is not large. But when avid golfers, to your point earlier, get to see these trucks, they have, I mean, the look on their face is like, I just fell in love.
Yeah, it's like you said. It's just. I think I said this before. It's like a kid in a candy store. If you're an avid golfer, and you walk in there, and there's anything you can imagine for golfing is in there, and it's and then obviously these trained professionals are in there that could build anything you want, so they can shape it, cut it long or short, or cut it short, or add a tip weight to the end of it, and they can do all of it right there. And a quick funny story. So the one TaylorMade built me a set of irons, and for me that cool thing is that it was built on a tour trailer.
Oh yeah.
You can get a set of irons anywhere, but you get a set of irons built for off the tour trailer. That's pretty cool. I think Adam Wainwright bought 3 sets at Belle Reve. The TaylorMade guy was telling me that he came in and had 3 sets of golf clubs built, which I thought that was pretty cool.
I know Wayno loves the game too.
Yeah. So he came in, and the TaylorMade guy was telling me that, Adam Wainwright? I said, yeah, he's pretty iconic here in our area. But so, what they've done now is each one of the manufacturers is taking these trailers and doing a little bit more than just building the clubs for the pros. They're going to the Dick's Sporting Goods. They're going to the grassroots clubs, club like Belle Reve. And they're bringing it in, and they're having a demo days. The demo days used to be a guy in a sprinter van, and that was it.
Right.
And you might have got measured, but you might not got your clubs for 2-3 weeks. Well, they roll in with these big trailers now to these events, and you go out and you get fitted, and they'll go and build your clubs in an hour or so. You walk out of there with your golf clubs built already. So they're starting to use this more of a tool to generate new business too, other than just taking care of the pros.
I'd be remiss, Jim, if we didn't talk a little bit about some of the iconic companies that you also do business with. As I was studying up on you guys, Boeing, Amazon, Kellogg's, Verizon, Lyft, AT&T, United States Air Force, which is interesting, McDonald's, Starbucks, Samsung, Energizer. You guys have some huge clients.
We do. We're truly a custom manufactured company. So I've been here for 12 years, and when I got here, a lot of our business was generated by marketing companies. So a marketing company would come to Boeing and say, hey, we have ideas for you to market your product. And then Boeing would say, okay, what's it going to cost to build that? Well, then they would come to us, and we were the guys that built it. So kind of nobody knew about us. Over the last probably 5 to 6 years, that has changed, and that part of our business is now more of a B2B business. So like in the golfing business, we're doing business directly with TaylorMade. We're doing business directly with Callaway, with Srixon, guys like that. So it's a unique business. Craftsman's a great place to work. If you're a guy who likes to do different things, likes to weld one day, maybe do a little electrical one day, we're the place. We roll things out of here that's it's unbelievable. What every time you walk through the shop, if you walk through the shop every couple of weeks, something's different in here. We built a mixer truck that looked like a concrete mixer, and it was for a company called Monkey Shoulder, and it literally had the booze that could come out of there, but it looked just like a concrete mixer. So it was we built some pretty unique things. We built the first Oscar Mayer Wienermobiles. We built them. So yeah, so pretty iconic stuff. We got a great group of guys that work here, great leadership. And to put a little plug in for Craftsman, we're always looking for new employees. And like I said, if anybody's out there that's looking for a job that's something different every day and you're going to get challenged, we're your place for sure.
Jim, didn't you guys just build a really, really state-of-the-art, I know you're in St. Charles, didn't you just build a new, a new building not long ago?
Yeah, we've been in this one for, I don't even know 100%, at least probably 13, 14 years, but we also have a facility in Highland, Illinois. And then across the street is our sister company called Craftsman Trailer. So we have a couple different facilities, and as far as Craftsman, I mean, we truly are accustomed. We have several verticals that we're in. You know, we do industrial, we do the event marketing. You know, like I said, we're doing B2B with golf. We do food trucks. We do food trailers. It's we're pretty diverse in what we do. You know, it kind of comes down to there's only two things that stop us, and that's budget and time. Because we can do about anything, and we've got a great staff of engineers, project managers that really can bring a project together. And we got two new designers that these guys are awesome. They're very creative. So when a client comes in, they say, yeah, we have an idea to doing something. They can sit down and actually design, you know, put on paper exactly what it's going to look like.
Well, Jim, just starting tomorrow, the Ascension Charity Classic will be up at Norwood Hills up in North County. Ascension has just been awesome with this tournament, but I already saw the workout facilities, the workout trailers dropped off at Norwood, and I'm sure that there'll be plenty of equipment trailers there too. So folks, you're going to get to see some of these things firsthand when you come out to the tournament this week.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're actually in talks right now with the PGA about building some new units for them, for the actual workout trailers too. So yeah, come out and see the trailers. You know, I welcome you anytime to come by and see the facility. We're located at 3101 Elm Point Industrial Drive in St. Charles. And like I said, you know, if you're a welder, electrician, or fabricator, or just like to do stuff with your hands and like to do something different, don't want to be an assembly line worker, Craftsman Industries is your place.
Hey, Jim, thanks so much for jumping on with me. Thanks so much for these trailers. Man, for a professional golfer back in the day, when you have a broken club or need some repairs done, these things were a godsend, and this is really cool and interesting stuff.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me on the call, Jay, and we'll talk soon.
All right, Pearl, that's going to wrap up the interview. I'm going to give you a last parting shot before we wrap up the back nine here.
Just about the interview, I want to hear more from you after that interview about the different mindsets out there on tour of equipment. Which guys overanalyze, which guys dig into it, the benefits to really knowing the equipment, the disadvantages to knowing the equipment. I'm worse than you, but you were pretty bad at never really kind of getting into the details of that. I think maybe a little bit more of the details may have been better for you, but some guys way overdo it, and they're out there adjusting between shots. So I'd love to hear what you see that happens out on the tour.
Fantastic. That's going to wrap up the back nine. We're going to break that down on the 19th hole. This is Golf with Jay Delsing. Powers Insurance is a family-owned agency right here in St. Louis that specializes in providing personalized coverage for the client who has a lot going on. At Powers, they understand that you and your life do not fit in a simple box. So guess what? Neither should your insurance coverage. Go to powersinsurance.com or call 314-725-1414 and ask for Tim Davis. That's powersinsurance.com. I want to officially welcome Daugherty Business Solutions as the new title sponsor of this show. So who are they? Well, first of all, they've been headquartered in St. Louis for the last 37 years. They're the #1 largest IT consulting firm per the St. Louis Business Journal. They're also the #1 largest software development company per the St. Louis Business Journal. They were voted #1 top workplace in St. Louis for large companies. There's over 2,500 teammates in 30 states and in 3 countries. There are 11 Daugherty regional development hubs in and around the world. If you live and or work in the St. Louis area, chances are that through their business or their extensive community work, Daugherty Business Solutions has done something positive near you. Check us out at Daugherty.com. That's DAUGHERTY.com. I've been looking for over 3 years for the perfect place to be the official 19th hole of the Golf with Jay Delsing show, and the search is over. Please welcome the loading dock to the show. What a great place it is. It is located at the confluence of the Mississippi and Illinois rivers in beautiful Grafton, Illinois. Their patio is killer with seating for over 800, and every weekend the loading dock has the area's best live music. There's no reservations required. They have overnight lodging available, and they also have an ice skating rink in the winter months. And don't forget about the super cool Riverside Flea Market, which happens the fourth weekend of each month from April through October. If you're into antiques and collectibles, you gotta check it out. The Grafton Ferry runs directly from St. Charles County to within steps of our parking lot. Go check out the loading dock and say hello to my buddy Peter Allen. He is a great guy, good golfer, and a lover of the game. Call 618-556-7951 or visit them on the web at graftonloadingdock.com for more information on their live music schedule, the Riverside Flea Market, and more. The Loading Dock, the new official 19th hole of the Golf with Jay Delsing show. Hey, welcome back. Golf with Jay Delsing here. Jay and John are with you. We are headed to the 19th hole. It's brought to you by the Loading Dock. Man, what a great place up in Grafton, Illinois, right where the Mississippi and the Illinois rivers get together. 618-556-7951. Peter Allen's a great guy. Go say hi to him up there. We're going to do a show from up there this year, Pearl. Let's talk about what you said, your last comments on our back nine. So, Pearl, we have seen it all when it comes to equipment and getting lost in some of these things. Our good buddy, dear friend, he's actually in town right now, Trevor Dodds. He's going through the qualifier with us tomorrow. He used to be, his nickname was Tinker Dodds or Trailer Dodds because he spent all day long messing with grips and this is too thick and this is too thin and this is too wide and I got to have more lead tape and I got to have less lead tape. Probably about midway through my career, I had a market change for me in how I looked at this. Technology started coming like crazy. Remember how we talked about every 6 weeks the Big Bertha would come back out with here's the greatest Big Bertha, the greatest Big Bertha. Big Bertha's sister came out, the Steelhead, the Hawkeye, and I realized that all these other companies, they were indeed coming out with equipment and their own things. I owed it to myself to make sure I kept some sort of finger on those, the latest and greatest, so, quote unquote, so that I wasn't missing out on something that might really, really help my game.
Well, you had to. There was a point where you absolutely had to, but it was tough. I mean, that's not your gig necessarily. But Jay, talk a little bit about what is the cost to the player that is tinkering too much. Where does that end up hurting them on the golf course? So if we don't have enough understanding of the technology and we don't have the right stuff in our bag, obvious stuff, right? That hurts us. Right now, I have such an antiquated bag. It's unbelievable. I mean, I'm 10 years behind, to say the least. People laugh when I pull out stuff that I thought was cool, but it was cool 18 years ago. It's just not cool now.
Right.
So, but what about the guy that overanalyzes? What do you see happens there relative to when it's crunch time to go play?
Well, what happens, John, is that there's just so much on the table, and the ability to score gets just completely covered up. You get so into spending your time and effort, and we just talked about Scotty Scheffler and how exhausting it was for him to try to get himself around the golf course when he didn't have his good game, and trying to limp this thing in and get it across the finish line. And what happens, we all know how difficult the game is, especially to play at this highest level. And if you have these other things, John, hanging on your shoulder, hanging in the back of your mind, hanging out there, they are just incredible distractions. Before you know it, John, 5 over par, you've ruined your round and your week, and you've only played 9 holes. I mean, it just goes that quick. And there's got to be some comparisons in the business world, aren't there?
Well, I think there is across the board, but let's get just a little bit more on the golf. So you're saying the guy gets out there and that shaft felt good in the practice round and they tweaked it. But if you're not playing with your equipment for a period of time, how easy is it, so that you can really get used to it, let alone used to it under the gun? You talked about it all the time. Your 7-iron in a practice round used to go whatever it went, 158, 160.
Yep.
In the tournament, it was absolutely it was 10 more yards.
100%.
So you're trying to get this equipment ready for tournament play, but you're not necessarily in a tournament. You go out there, and all of a sudden that adrenaline's there, and that shaft doesn't feel right. The ball came off the club a little bit different. Isn't that a huge piece of this?
I didn't think of it that way. You're 100% right. Until you play tournament golf, that is a true litmus test. In the practice rounds, remember how short I used to hit my driver in the practice rounds? It wasn't even the same thing.
Two different guys. It was so hard to map out golf courses. And you're not the only guy. It's when the flag went up. Some of the guys might not have been as drastically different as you, but the flag goes up. So I just think when you're out there, it's a new club. You feel that you've tuned it in, but all of a sudden you're out there playing for whatever reason. Maybe you're hitting more knockdown shots because of the wind or something. And that shaft feels a little bit different. And you kind of let some ball fly a little bit left or a little bit of right because, man, that doesn't feel right. Now that's in your head that maybe the shaft isn't what I needed. Maybe the flex point is in the wrong place. Maybe the flex is wrong. Now you're in the tournament. You got a problem on your hands now, or you're playing 3 weeks in a row. Now what the hell are you going to do?
It takes a special player to be, it takes a special tour player to be able to adopt to that new equipment right away because most of them have already written the week off. You know how they get. They already. So one of the things you have to remember that is so cool about the modern technology is that you can take the shaft out of an old driver that you love and put a new head on it. So you already know the shaft feels the same, and which is crucial for the players. And then these heads just have different components and different characteristics that can change your ball flight. Bro, back in the day, we didn't have that. So if we win a new driver, it was new everything. They didn't have those interchangeable heads. Anyway, I'm so excited to be able to go through this qualifier tomorrow. I'm really, we had the Mark McGuire interview, and it's had a profound effect on me. I'll let you know if it has a profound effect on my golf game, but it's had a profound effect on my brain, and I have been getting back into visualizing and preparing for this round tomorrow. It's really, I'm really looking forward to the challenge.
That's awesome. I'm glad you're ready.
How about you? How's the old bod feeling? Go, Nelly, go. Oh, my gosh. It's going to be a lot of fun. Pearl, that is going to wrap up another show. Jimmy Conrad, you are the winner of this week's golf balls. Our next show will be Sunday of. It'll be Sunday of tournament week. I'm hoping to have Lee Trevino on, which would be awesome to have Lee on the show. He's also going to be playing Saturday at the Ascension Charity Classic on the back nine with Nancy Lopez, with Ryan O'Reilly, with Hale Irwin, with the Chief Craig Berube, and with the great Ozzie Smith.
That's going to be awesome. Yep. There's going to be plenty of fans out for that one. That's the who's who.
Absolutely. All right, Pearl. Well, thanks so much for joining me, and we will be here next week. And make sure you caddy well tomorrow. It's on your shoulders.
Oh, don't do that to me. Don't. Hey, by the other way, I had a dream and I lost my shoes, but I couldn't make it to the first tee. I didn't lose the clubs or the golf ball or anything, but I couldn't find my shoes, and it was a terrible dream.
Just recently?
Like 3 days ago, because the caddying job's coming.
So did you sleep last night with your shoes on?
I slept with them tied around my neck, for crying out loud.
That's awesome. Folks, thanks for joining us. Hit 'em straight, St. Louis. You already know that Marcone is a great corporate citizen, as well as the largest distributor of GE appliance parts in North America. Well, folks, they're at it again. This year at the Ascension Charity Classic, September 6th through 12th at Norwood Hills Country Club, on the 14th hole, Marcone is sponsoring the Military and First Responder Viewing Deck. This is a designated area for our military men and women, first responders, police, and firefighters to watch the best Champions Tour players compete at Norwood Hills. The best part is, it is absolutely free. Contact me at jay@jdelsinggolf.com or Connor Bradley at cbradley@ascensioncharityclassic.com for complete details. That's the Ascension Charity Classic and the Marcone Military and First Responder Viewing Area, September 6th through 12th at Norwood Hills Country Club. I'll see you at the golf course. Hey, do you like wine? Have you heard about the hottest new wine bar in St. Louis? It's called Wild Crush Wine Bar, and it's located in Town and Country on Clayton Road, just behind the Straubs. Have you ever experienced self-dispensing wine machines? Well, they are here. The only place in St. Louis and most of Missouri that you'll find them, and it's at Wild Crush. You can choose your size of pour, and Wild Crush will pour the freshest wine in the area for you. The organic argon gas system used at Wild Crush keeps this wine pristinely fresh for up to 60 days. So if you're tired of drinking wine that's been open open for a few days, come into Wild Crush for the best and freshest wine selection in the area. Go to wildcrushstl.com and come have one with us.
This has been Golf with Jay Delsing. To learn more about Jay and the services he can provide any golfer, visit jdelsinggolf.com. You'll see the latest in golf equipment, get tips from a PGA pro, and you'll learn more about the game of golf. That's jdelsinggolf.com.
Football fans, grab your favorite food and a cooler full of drinks. It's time to tailgate. Whether you're serving up hot dogs and hamburgers or breaking out the barbecue, feel free to kick things up a notch with Frank's Red Hot. And when you're looking to cool it down, reach for a nice cold Bud Light. The team's going all the way this year. Make sure you're there to cheer them on. And don't forget to fire it up with Frank's Red Hot and cool it down with Bud Light. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.